Hey Mandy, we're here out in Bolivia supply area at Waste Industries today. Welcome guys to Nosing Around with Mandy and Tony. So we've stopped by Bolivia today. We're at Waste Industries Incorporated. This is the folks that pick up our trash throughout the county. They're members of our chamber, and they're doing some really innovative things here, Mandy. So we're excited to be here today and talk to these folks about what they got going on, aren't we?
We are. Today we're going to talk to Greg Brinkley, who is the general manager of Waste Industries, and he's going to fill us in on everything they have to offer.
They're doing some really cool things with their trucks, with the way they manage the trash, with tons of innovative ideas, and I'm excited to hear what Greg's got to share with us.
Me too, so welcome.
You ready to go on in?
Let's go.
Let's go see what Greg's got for us. Welcome back, folks. We're here now at Waste Industries with Greg Brinkley. Greg, you're the manager here, general manager of
Yes, sir.
of Waste Industries here in Brunswick County.
That's correct.
We're glad to have you on the show. We understand Waste Industries is doing a lot of great things here in Brunswick County, and we're tickled to have you as a part of our chamber and also to be out here to talk more with you about what you've got going on here and the different innovations that you've been doing within our county and how it not only affects our county but affects waste industries across the country even.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about the history of Waste Industries, Greg.
Waste Industry started in 1970 with Lonnie Poole and Jim Perry. Jim Perry being the first employee. Home office is in Raleigh. And Mr. Perry is the chairman of the board still, and but we've been around since 1970. We're now in Maryland, Delaware, Virginia, the Carolinas, Georgia, and Tennessee. Initially, we started out just in the Carolinas, so we've grown to 45 or 50 branches.
Wow.
And since then, we've gotten into the landfill business, transfer stations, and that type of thing. So we're basically doing it all.
How many employees do you have?
I've got about 100 employees here during the summertime, and it's then in the off season we get down to 90 or 95. But it's right between 90 and 100. Like I say, we're very seasonal here, which is different from the inland places. So, but we mainly cover Brunswick County and the beaches, and we have the contract with Brunswick County to do all the trash pickup at the curb at the house. So we're doing right at 80,000 homes in Brunswick County once a week.
Wow, wow! Plus, you do all the commercial business too.
I do the majority of commercial business.
Of
I don't. That's individual contracts. So I do have a couple competitors in here, but I do most of it. So. We do the restaurants and that type, and then on the commercials or the industrial side, we do a lot of the big plants, and then home construction's coming back, so we're getting big in that again.
Very good, and it's good to hear that from more than just you. I've
Yes.
heard that a lot over
Yes.
the county, so that's great.
Yes.
Greg, you said you're into landfills. Now, we're here at Waste Industries on Galloway Road here in Supply. This is your headquarters here, but also the landfill's right down the street. So you manage everything that goes on out there, correct?
No, I manage just the transfer station, part of my contract. So the trash that comes in and the biggest part of the construction that comes in, we unload on the floor, and then it's reloaded in 53-foot trailers, and we haul it to Sampson County landfill up in Clinton, which is a Waste Industries landfill.
Okay.
And then it's disposed of or buried there.
So is that when you say transfer station, so we can help our viewing audience to understand kind of the inner workings? The transfer station is where it's brought in and then re-shipped?
Reloaded, right, reloaded in the trailers, yeah. In other words, my trucks on the street come in here and dump. They go across the scales and get the weight, come in and dump. Then I have loaders that load it into a trailer, and then we haul it to Sampson.
Okay, and that's just the construction stuff and commercial?
That's trash, yeah.
Trash
That's
and everything?
basically everything.
Okay.
Now, the county does have yard waste and, metal and that type of thing that they do on their own, but I do the transfer station itself for the county.
Cool.
How many counties do you operate out of in North Carolina?
The company, probably 25 or 30, maybe more. We go as far west as Greensboro, and then it's basically from, like I say, Greensboro east to the coast.
Now, when you say you take it to Sampson County, are there a lot of other counties that take their trash there too?
Yes, basically a big majority of the eastern North Carolina take it to Sampson County. And one thing unique about Sampson now is we have, of course, everybody's got methane that comes out of landfills. We're now taking that methane and converting it in. We have big diesels now, and we're converting it into power, and we're actually selling power back to Progress Energy. And we're doing enough now to power electricity for about 3,500 homes.
Wow.
Wow.
And that's one of the reasons we're here, Greg, is all the great innovations that waste industry is doing, and you just gave us a perfect segue into that. As you mentioned, you're taking the methane, which is a byproduct of landfills,
Correct.
and using that byproduct and reintroducing it back into energy. And tell us a couple other things that you guys are doing here locally, and it's my understanding that we were like a pilot project here in Brunswick County.
Yeah, well, several things we're doing. Number one, on the recycling side, we do curbside recycling, and currently we're doing about 22,000 homes. We've been doing the municipalities, a lot of municipalities for years, but we've since decided to go out to John Q. Public out in the county and do some recycling. So we've done a lot of POAs and that type of thing. And like I say, that's brought here. Most of it's with a 96-gallon cart, and we call it the Pepsi Blue cart, Pepsi Blue color, and that's how we distinguish. And we send a separate truck around to get that, and that's also taken to the transfer station, reloaded in 53-foot trailers, and we take it to Sunoco Corporation in Jacksonville, which is a MRF, and then they separate it and sell it at market.
Okay. So now, I see those blue Pepsi containers, as you call them, out in the communities, and you mentioned just now that you work with a lot of HOAs and POAs. So if a POA is not doing this, or an HOA is doing this, or John Q. Public, as you said, is not doing this, how do they go about getting involved in this? Because I know you say we got 80,000 homes and 22,000 are participating in this program. That means we've got another 60,000 or so out there.
They can call us here at our office, 253-4177, local 910, and my ladies here will take care of you and tell you the program. And basically we always pick up the recycle on the same day as you trash, so it's less confusing.
And you pick that up every other week?
Every other week on the recycle, that's correct.
And it's fairly minimal price.
Yeah, it's all commingled, and basically you can put it all into one can. In the old days, we used to have to separate it. You had different units. We used to have to separate it at the curbs, so it works out good.
So being commingled means that they can put their glass, their paper, their plastics, and all right in that blue can, and then you guys take care of sorting it out at the end.
Yeah, that's correct. At the end product. The other thing we do in the county, we also have a cardboard baler at the transfer station that we put in, and we also have commercial routes, businesses that have cardboard that we run routes for that, and then the recycling centers throughout the county. There's 4. You can take your cardboard or your recycle there, and it also gets recycled.
So if they're not on the program, they can take it to the recycle.
Yeah, they can take it to those sites, and
they're
open.
Where are those 4 sites?
There's one down on Highway 904 in the lower end of the county, and then there's one off Ox Pen toward Holden Beach, and then there's one in Southport next to the ballpark, and then there's one in Leland, and those are open Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, 8 to 6. And they can take them there.
And those are called convenience stations, correct?
Yeah, I call them convenience stations. The county calls them recycling centers. It's basically both. You can take your trash there too, but you have to pay a fee there, but the recycling is at no charge.
That's what I was getting to. I know when I moved here to Brunswick County in 2012, I used the one on 904 quite a bit as we were remodeling our house.
Right.
It was very convenient. It's 5 miles away, and it saved me a trip of carrying my construction stuff all the way up to this location. And then also, with that said, they have some free days, and did we just have a...
Yeah, the county has some, do it twice a year, and they've got one coming, I think it's the week after next, and basically the public can take it to the landfill, not the convenience sites, but to the landfill at no charge.
Right.
The county does that twice a year just to help clean up the county.
Right. I knew that was coming up
Yeah.
sometime.
So is that usually in the spring and
It's
then the fall?
April and September.
April and September.
Okay.
And they always put the notes out and they leave signs all over the county highways and, you know, so everybody know when it is.
Very good.
And advertise it.
Now, next question. We talked about what you're doing with methane gas. We talked about recycling and what you're doing there. But let's also talk about what you've done with your fleet.
Okay, this year we elected to go to compressed natural gas. We tried a branch last April a year ago. We did the Durham branch, did about 12 or 13 trucks, and then so it was decided that we would do the trucks here in Brunswick. So I have put in a new fleet of trucks. There's like 33 new trucks, and they're compressed natural gas, and we've done all of our residential trucks, basically the ones that work, you know, the curbside programs, and we've done the commercial trucks, the dumpster trucks. And it was a real big project. You have a different type of engine, the way it's configured. The good thing about it is you have less emissions, so it's definitely green. You have 77% less emissions. It's the amazing thing is how quiet the truck is. I mean, it's I've heard people.
That's the part I was waiting on you to say, because I can attest to that personally. Your trucks come through my neighborhood at about 6 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday mornings. And I could tell, I know our president, Shannon Vieira, had talked to you in the past about what you guys were doing here, and that's how we came to get out here to talk to you folks about all the innovations that you're doing. But I could distinctly tell a difference once you converted those trucks over, because I have 3 dogs, and 6 o'clock in the morning they'd start barking when that truck would pull up to get the trash. I don't hear the dogs anymore. I don't even know you guys are coming through the neighborhood if I'm not awake.
It's like I was saying earlier, I call it Eastern Standard Garbage Time. It's, people used to hear the trucks and they'd run the cart out to the street. Now they don't hear it.
Yeah.
And which is a good thing, you know.
You
It's,
say you even get phone calls now.
yeah, we
people
get phone
saying,
calls, you know, your truck missed me. Well, you know, they just didn't hear the truck. But it's, you know, and these trucks are pretty unique. We did a fueling station here. We've got 46 fueling stations where we can fill the truck, and basically the trucks fill at night. And I think later on I'll take you out and I'll show you the compressors and how that works. But it's a pretty unique operation. And the good thing was talking about the emissions. The other side of it that you know is near and dear to us is the maintenance side. We don't have all the emissions and catalytic converters and all that to deal with on these trucks because there's basically no emissions. So maintenance-wise, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's a nice thing about natural gas, compressed gas, is it burns so clean. And it'd be great to be able to, I know I've heard and seen about the technology across the country where they're actually putting in natural gas stations for people that are converting cars. So it's great to see an industry like you guys, which people say, you know, how could somebody like Waste Industries be green? They're dealing with trash all the time, but we've stood here and talked about 3 or 4 different areas, and this natural compressed gas is one of the huge ones that is cutting down on the carbon footprint.
Yes,
in
and
this
it's
community.
you know it's not a cheap venture. The trucks are basically $40,000 or $50,000 more than a regular diesel truck. So you know this whole project here in Brunswick, we spent about $15 million.
Right.
So it was we're here to stay. We've been a part of this county for many years and want to continue being a partner with Brunswick County, and it's it was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And we're company-wise, we're continuing to add these as we go along. So we're getting ready to do the Raleigh branch, which is going to be a lot of trucks, about 100 trucks. So.
Wow.
Wow.
So
And
we're taking it serious. This was the second one.
Second one, okay.
But it was, like I say, we're the biggest in North Carolina right now as far as a garbage company with, compressed natural gas. But naturally, when Raleigh comes on next year, they'll be the biggest. But, Waste Industries took the big step forward and, stepped up to the plate, and working well.
Well, we're proud to have you a part of Brunswick County.
Yeah. What
Any
now?
other questions?
Now, if you have a refrigerator or washer dryer, how do you go about disposing that?
Well, basically on that is the landfill takes it at no charge. The 4 convenience sites that we operate for the county, they take it there at no charge. And then when it goes to the landfill, then if it's a refrigerator, they take the Freon out or whatever. But you either got the 4 convenience sites or the landfill will take it to you.
So those large type of appliance items that people need to get rid of, it's a no charge.
Yeah.
As long as you get it to those 4
Yeah,
or 5
that's
sites.
correct. That's correct.
And then they recycle the metal, right?
Yes, the metal is recycled, yes.
Well, listen, it's been great standing in here and talking to you about all these things, Greg. Let's take a break and come back with the audience and kind of give them a little tour around Waste Industries here in Supply,
Cool.
North
That'd be
Carolina.
great. Glad to show you around.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Be right back.
And we're back here with Greg Brinkley at Waste Industries. Right now we're out at the fueling station with one of the compressed natural gas trucks.
Correct.
Wow, I tell you what, Mandee, coming out here, and Greg, you know, you think about being at a facility that's got 40-some trucks, and you think this is going to smell bad. This is the cleanest trash company I've ever seen in my life. This is really nice.
Appreciate it. We did all this construction over the winter and got cranked up in April. And with these fueling stations, we've done, give you an example here. We have, like I say, 46 fueling stations. Each one of them will fill 2 trucks, one on each side. And you can see where I've got this one hooked up. And basically what the driver does when he comes in, after he post-trips the truck, goes through the safety lane, he backs up here, he hooks it up. That's all he has to do. And it's a 5-hour fueling window, so it comes on like at 7 o'clock at night and it fuels for 5 or 6 hours. That's when it does all the trucks at once. So basically everybody's, when they come in the evening, they hook up to it, and then in the morning they'll come in, unhook, hook it back up, you know, to the holder there, and they're good to go. And this is one of our residential trucks, one of the little single axle trucks, and these trucks hold 75 gallons of compressed natural gas. And where most trucks you've got a fuel tank underneath, there are the tanks. There's 3 25-gallon tanks. So that's where the fuel is at, and it runs off of pressure instead of a quarter of a tank, half a tank, whatever. It runs off pressure. So
Poundage.
Right. So all of our guys, we put them through classes about natural gas and you know, all that. And natural gas is very safe. I know a lot of people are concerned about the explosive point and all that, and it's really better because if anything, natural gas is lighter than air, so it rises. Propane explosion point is low, but natural gas is high, so it's a very safe system. But we've also got all kind of shutdowns and this type of thing. But these trucks are dual steer. You can steer them on both sides. The passenger side is stand up. The driver's side is just basically like typical, but the other side's a stand-up side that you can open, and the, you know, driver works off of there.
Very cool.
So, you know, which is more efficient.
So now, first of all, I'd like to say that's amazing that it's such a process. It's not like pulling up to a gas tank and sticking the nozzle in and squeezing the trigger. It's a 5-hour process just to fill these, and it's set up obviously on a computer time system where they all charge at one time.
Right. Now, if an individual has to come in, if he's got a long route that day and has to fuel up, you know, one truck comes in here, it'll fill it in about 15 minutes.
Okay.
But otherwise, the 30-some trucks, however many we got hooked up, it usually takes between 5 and 6 hours.
Now, you said that it's a dual steer system. Does each truck have 2 individuals, 2 employees on it?
Right.
Okay.
Right. So basically, and on our larger truck has a step on the back. And most of our trucks, we've got 2 drivers in, 2 CDL drivers, and they all work off the street side. So the public will notice we get calls a lot that, you know, they miss me. But what we do, we only work the street, the curb side. We only work the curb side. We come around and do the other side to keep from crossing the street and getting run over.
Okay.
Right.
We've learned the hard way over the years, and it's just safer to do it that way. It takes us longer, but it's a lot safer, and we're, you know, safety's number one with us. We pride on our safety.
Yeah. Now, just like I was talking about with the smell and the cleanliness of this facility, these trucks, I know they're fairly new, but they are just pristine in cleanliness. It's
right.
amazing.
Well, we do that for, you know, basically for the life of the truck. street appeal means a lot to us, and also the mechanics working on the truck. If he's got a clean truck to work on, he's apt to find whatever the problem or that type thing is. So yeah, we take a lot of pride in that.
And how many typically during a day do the trucks have to come in?
We've only got
dump,
one or two.
or?
Oh, dump. Well, it depends on the routes. Naturally, during what we call the beach season, we're a lot heavier. Some of them have to dump more. Our big trucks, the dumpster for the front end trucks, like do the restaurants and all, they're dumping 3 and 4 times a day. Most of these guys on the residential will dump 1 and some of them 2, just depends on the route.
Okay. Well, it's very interesting.
Yeah,
very interesting process. It's great that we've got this opportunity to come out here and show you this. I think now we're going to move over and talk a little bit about
I'll take you over and I'll show you about the way the system works to get the fuel to the truck.
All right.
So, Greg, this is where your compressors are that you use for the trucks, for the gas to get to the fueling station.
That's correct. Piedmont Natural Gas run lines in that come into here, and then basically what happens, it comes in. This is a dryer. What's right behind us is a dryer. It actually takes the moisture out of the natural gas, and then we have 2 compressors. And we have 2, we don't need but 1, but we've got 2 for backup in case one goes down, and it feeds off of each other. And basically that compresses the gas before it goes through the lines to the fueling station that fuels the truck. So this is something we have to check on a couple times a day to make sure everything's up to, spec on what needs to be. And it's on a rigorous maintenance program that we have to look after, because if this doesn't work, trucks don't get fueled up.
Down.
So, but it's all compressed, and
Compressors are quiet.
that's because they're not on. There's no trucks here.
So they only run when the trucks are here.
Correct, when they're hooked up. That's
Okay.
correct.
And the gas comes in on a natural gas line.
Correct.
Underground, so there's no trucks that run in here, big propane
Nope.
tanks running
Nope.
up and down the road, anything like that. This is natural gas that is carried through a pipeline, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Comes
Just
off
wanna
of 17.
Let everybody know
And
that.
yeah, comes off 17 into here. Everything's underground, and like I say, it's when the trucks are hooked up. Then at 7 o'clock it comes on, and it starts fueling the whole system. And it's it's all run off electricity naturally. And we got our big panels for switching or whatever. And also I've got a 250 kW Caterpillar compressor in case the power goes off. That'll back up and run the
running.
compressors where we can always pump gas.
That was my next question. What's that big unit over there?
Yeah.
So that's what that is.
That's correct.
A generator.
Big generators, 250 kW, and we took the opportunity with that to also wire our building. So we've also got that to back up and it will run the whole building also. So we're basically self-sufficient.
That's great.
I know we've been talking about the compressed natural gas for the trucks and all that, but one other thing we did, we took the opportunity, since Piedmont had to run a line in here, we've also put natural gas in our shop, and in doing that, we have a natural gas pressure washer,
Wow.
and we also put natural gas heat in, which is radiant heat, and which will be very efficient. We've had propane before, and we hope we'll save enough to pay for the system, but to help the mechanics, in the wintertime, and the heat's regulated, and it's supposed to be the state of the art. So we're anxious for it to get cold to see how it works.
I have been around that type of system, that radiant heating system, in aircraft hangars before. So I know, but it was hooked to propane. But I'm sure
Right.
it's the same type of heat, good heat, clean heat, very efficient. So
Yeah,
that's,
basically what happens with the old style of heat, when you open the door, it all goes out.
Right.
With this, the radiant, it actually heats what's inside the building, so you don't lose all that heat when you open the door to pull trucks in and out.
Right.
So
heats the concrete slab and everything, correct?
Trucks, whatever's there.
So you guys have taken and thought of everything when you brainstormed this to make sure you utilize this system of natural gas to the utmost, not
Correct.
only on your trucks, but on your structure, even so far as a natural gas pressure washer
Right.
to wash your trucks down, which we can see that's being put to good use. The
Right.
trucks are
Right.
very pristine.
Well, Greg, we certainly appreciate your time today and telling the community about what you all have to offer. It certainly has been a learning experience for us. Didn't realize you offered so much. It's amazing. It's nice we've been able to talk trash.
Glad you could come. Come back anytime, and we appreciate the time letting us tell the people of Brunswick County what we've done.
Yeah, we thank you for that. We thank you for your membership and your commitment to the county, and we look forward to continued years of partnership with you through the chamber and also through Brunswick County.
Thanks
you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Wow, what an interesting morning we've had, Tony. We sure have learned a lot, and Brunswick County has a lot to offer as far as trash goes.
That's true. It's amazing that you can take something, an industry like trash, and turn it into such a clean environment as we've been in today. It's just, I've been around these types of facilities all over the country, and I've never seen anything quite like what Waste Industries has done here in Brunswick County. We'd like to thank them again for the opportunity to come out and talk with Greg and share this with you, the viewing public today, about what they got going on. What else do we need to talk to our folks about today, Mandee?
Well, don't forget, October's Oyster Festival month. The Chamber of Commerce sponsors the biggest event in Brunswick County. About 50,000 people come through, and
so that'll be going on the 19th and 20th?
19th and 20th, third weekend in October. But don't forget, 1 week prior to the festival, we have moved our road race 1 week prior, so that's going to be on October 12th. So
once again, those dates for the Oyster Festival are October 19th and 20th. That will be this month. Also, Mandee, we need to give a shout out to
the Shriners. They bring the oysters to the Oyster Festival, so we'll be able to have steamed and fried oysters. And we do have our oyster shucking contest, and then our oyster stew tasting that takes place that weekend. So,
and also our band. Let's not forget to mention our headliner again. The Lost Trailers will be there.
They're going to be at Saturday on October 19th at 4 o'clock.
All right.
So come out and join the fun.
Yeah, boy.
So Tony, it sure has been a pleasure talking trash with you today. So,
yeah.
So we'd like to thank you all for joining us with Nosin' Around with Mandee and Tony.
This is ATMC TV Channel 3. We bring you the best of Brunswick.
My granddaddy is the best granddaddy ever.
Where does he work?
AMT Wireless.
AMT
Wireless. AMC Wireless. ATMC Wireless. How much longer?
We're here to demonstrate an app today on translating.
Te amo. Mi esposa es la mejor del mundo.
You can tell he means that too.
Mis piernas están dormidas. Ayúdame.